but I wanted to come on. I actually came on just a moment ago, and then my phone died. And so then I decided I'm going to go ahead and charge up my phone, shower, and come back and try to finish this conversation. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on and just have like a quick girls chat with you. This one is going to be about postpartum and how I am surviving postpartum. Um, in the last live that I was doing before I got knocked off, I was just going over just some of the things that people don't talk about when it comes to postpartum. And today was a hard day for me because this is part of the journey. Like every day is not going to be perfect. And when you have two little ones and you're trying to maneuver through this entrepreneurial world, content creation world, um, it's challenging to make time to do everything, right? And show up for everything. And today was one of those days. So this morning when I woke up, I woke up early on time at 6:30, and the first thing that I did is I pulled out my 2025 planner and I started jotting down notes for my 2025 plans. And since about November, I have created a 5-year goal for myself. And with that 5-year goal, there's daily things that I need to do to get in place so that I can achieve those goals in 5 years. And those goals pretty much just pertain around motherhood, self care, business, and lifestyle. So, pretty much what my channel is about, which is my life, right? But just trying to create some balance there and to slowly just do the daily steps that it takes to get to that version of myself from now until the next 5 years. And part of that plan is waking up early and making time for yourself. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. It's about postpartum, um, self-care, and and just the challenges of motherhood, especially if you're an entrepreneur, but just motherhood in general. So if you're new here, my name is Nalula Dodier, and I am a mother of two, entrepreneur, cosmetologist, and content creator. I here on this channel, I will be talking about beauty, business, self care, a little motherhood or family, and lifestyle. So if that is something that you're interested in, please click subscribe. And my goal for 2025 is to start going live and to start posting regularly on YouTube. So my goal has been to post every single day. And if I can't post every single day, is to go live every single day. So I almost didn't go live today because I was in a rut, but I was like, you know what? No matter what, I am going to get online. And something triggered me earlier this evening that made me feel like I needed an outlet. And so I was like, you know what? Let me get on live and then talk about what I'm going through because I'm pretty sure there are other women going through this. And I just want you to know that you're not alone because in that moment I started to kind of go inward and feel alone, but I know that I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only woman going through these feelings during postpartum and in motherhood. And I just wanted to get on camera and talk about those things. So let's get right in. So yeah, I got pregnant in 2020 and had my first baby in 2021. And we are in this culture of social media, snapback culture, and all those different things. And so one thing I want to talk about is body image and self care. And back in 2021, when I gave birth to my first daughter, my mother came down to help me with my postpartum. So, what I will say, when I had my first kid, I felt like I had that snapback body. Like my body snapped back relatively quickly. And the thing that I feel like really contributed to the reason why my body was able to go back to where it was, I mean, I had some weight that I had picked up, but I still looked, in my opinion, I still looked pretty good. And I wasn't a lot heavier than what I was after I had given birth. And I think a big contribution to that was the fact that, number one, it was my first baby, but the biggest factor was the fact that I had so much support. My mother came down for 3 months. Um, my family is from the Congo, and in our culture, it is really important when a woman has a child that she pretty much is resting for the first 3 months of her pregnancy. And what that means is someone is cooking, someone is cleaning, someone is there for you, just to help you with the tasks of life. And the daily things, washing dishes, doing laundry, cooking for you, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so my mother came down and did those things for me, which was such a blessing. And I don't even take those things for granted. My mom is such an angel. And normally in my culture, what happens is the husband and the wife's families come together to both help, but sometimes that doesn't always happen. And in my situation, my in-laws and my man's side of the family, they did not show up the way that I would, the way that my mother showed up. But it was okay because my mom was here, and um, she my mom was a goat, okay? And so because of that, I was able to just relax, focus on feeding my baby. Also, I had a C-section. I did mention that. I didn't mention that. I had an emergency C-section. So although we went in, I had a very healthy, very normal pregnancy. Um, and my baby was overdue. And because she was overdue, they ended up having to induce me. And once they induced me, everything was going good with the labor. But eventually, I did ask for epidural, and after I got the epidural, after the induction, it just kind of went haywire, and it was kind of like, we got to take this baby out now so that you and baby are safe. And I ended up having a C-section. So I think the thing about having C-sections is your recovery period is a lot longer. So you really, really, really need that support. So that is a little disclaimer there. So my mom comes, she's cooking, she's cleaning, and I pretty much went back to normal after the 3 months. My C-section went smoothly, my incision healed really nicely, and I felt so good about motherhood. And then about 18 months later, I got pregnant again with my second. Now that's when things got really hard for me because I was still nursing my youngest child, um, and I nursed her through my whole pregnancy, which, by the grace of God, thank you, Jesus, I was able to do that because I dealt with like a lot of anxiety during that time, and trying to wean my baby off of nursing and dealing with the hormones and the emotional load that comes along with being pregnant, and also kind of mourning the one baby honeymoon. I just didn't have the capacity to wean her at the time. I just felt like I would really be causing a lot of emotional trauma for her if I did that. So I nursed her throughout the pregnancy, and that is not for the weak. Okay, I will tell y'all that. Okay, and so I nursed her for the 9 months that I was pregnant, from the time that she was 18 months, and then I tandem fed both of my children for 1 month, and I could not do it past the month. But it was a good transition because it allowed my first to feel like she wasn't getting kicked out the way, and the second one to also bond. So we kind of bonded together. But mommy was overstimulated, overtired, and it was just too much. So I couldn't do it. So more power to the mommies who have twins or that tandem nurse their kids or whatever. I just couldn't do it. I tried it for a month, and that's as far as I could go. But what ended up happening at my second pregnancy is I had to get another C-section. I tried to have a natural birth, just because I was worried that if I had another C-section, would I be able to care for my youngest baby and the new baby? And and so I decided to try to go and do a regular birth. But of course, there was complications again. This time I didn't go into labor. They did induce me again, but this time I actually dilated pretty far. I got to 7.5 centimeters dilated, but then the baby was still really high up, so she hadn't dropped down into the birthing canal. And And so because of that, they call it a TOLOP, which is like a stalled labor, and pretty much ended up being that we were just going to be stalled there, and she wasn't dropping down, and so something had happened, and so I got another C-section. So that C-section was actually really traumatizing for me. If you guys want to hear about that story, I can tell you guys in another one, but I won't go into that. But from that pregnancy, I think just the fact that I had a baby, I was pregnant 18 months. I had just had a baby not even 2 years prior. I think my body just went in like overload or whatever. And so I ended up getting preeclampsia post birth, meaning um, postpartum. After I had my baby, my blood pressure shot up. Again, during my second pregnancy, again, everything was normal. I always have very smooth, very normal pregnancies. But the second baby, I ended up getting preeclampsia. And the preeclampsia is pretty much high blood pressure, but the type of high blood pressure that I got was a hormonal issue. Pretty much what the doctors explained to me is that the placenta releases different hormones into the body, and then it can trigger high blood pressure. And so I ended up having to get on some high blood pressure medication, and just to balance it. And I stayed on high blood pressure medication for a couple of months, and then got off of it. And that was a whole whirlwind. So yeah, if you guys want to know about my birth story, I will definitely make like a birth story video another time, because there's a lot. But what ended up happening with my second child is my mom came down, but she was only able to come down for about a month and a half to 2 months, because my younger sister was also having a baby. And so we had to pretty much, I had to share my mom with my sister, and then my other sister had her kids. So my mom is only one person, so she can't travel back and forth all the time. So I knew that the second postpartum was going to be um, a little different. And I was really worried and stressed about that in my pregnancy, because my biggest fear was falling into postpartum depression. And one thing I've learned about postpartum depression is it's not that the women are sad about their baby, at least in my opinion, from what I've been understanding. I feel like what really triggers women into postpartum depression is the fact that you feel so alone and isolated in motherhood with no help and no support. And culturally in America, I feel like we do pregnant women so wrong, pregnant and nursing women so wrong. When at the end of the day, if women are not having babies, like, humanity is going to stop. And now that I've gone through motherhood, pregnancy, postpartum 2 times back to back, like my heart just goes out to every woman who is a mother, or even especially women who are mothers who are doing it by themselves, like with no village. Even if you have a significant other, like, you still need support. And I don't think that you really understand that until you go through it. And so with my second pregnancy, I didn't get much support. Now, this time around, I did get a little bit of support from my in laws. My mother in law came over a few times to watch my oldest baby a handful of times, but she's busy. And then my mom came down, cooked, cleaned, did different things like she did the first time around. And then also when I got put into the hospital, they put me on a mag drip because I had gotten really big. If you ever see anybody who um, gets preeclampsia, pretty much is just like plus they put me with a lot of fluids for the C-section, so I was really puffy. And so when I got put into the hospital, they put me on the magnesium drip to lower my blood pressure. And when I left out of that hospital, y'all, I was looking real good. I lost like, clearly with the pregnancy, you lose like 20 pounds when you leave the hospital because of all the water that you have in. But I probably had like another 5 to 10 pounds of like 5 pounds of water, water weight, just because of all of the cc's that they were pumping me in. So I was looking like I was before I was pregnant. But this is kind of where the story turns, because after that, life just got really hard. Um, and when I say hard, not like in a bad way, like there were a lot of beautiful moments, but I wasn't able to get my sleep like I wanted to. Like not I wanted to, but I wasn't able to sleep anymore like I did before, because now there's two kids instead of one, and they both were needing attention, and there was also less support. By this time we had bought a house, and financially things were getting tighter, and you get different things going on, and stuff just starts to get really stressful. So I give you guys all that backstory to just kind of tell you why I'm feeling how I'm feeling today, because um, one thing that's been really challenging is being able to make time for myself to, you know, I know that I cannot be the person that I was before, because I wasn't a mother before. Like now I'm a mom, but making space to take care of myself has been something that I've been a challenge that I have been navigating through and trying to figure out how to make this work or whatever. And someone had made a comment about working out, which clearly has a lot to do with my weight. And it just made me feel really sad inside about where I'm at. And people say things and don't realize what they're saying and how that can affect somebody when someone feels like something is out of their control. And one thing that I've been doing for myself that I've been really proud of is I've been going to Pilates every Wednesday. That's one thing that I've been able to carve out in my schedule to take care of myself. And I do that every Wednesday. And the reason why I chose that is I was needing something that was going to be um, more like a relaxing thing that I can do for myself to like decompress and like to reconnect with myself. And I'm on live right now. And hey, baby, you want to come with me? Um, you can come with me. One second, y'all. You could just bring her this. Hey, baby. Hi. Oh. So it's something that um, I chose to do. Number one, I have a client that teaches it, and she's been teaching it for years, and she's been inviting me to go do this class with her. And so she's like been my like accountability partner, and I finally decided to go. And so the thing with this type of training is it's not for people who want to like see super duper fast results, because if anyone knows anything about Pilates, it was created by Windsor Pilates, who was a dance instructor, and this was made to train dancers. And it's kind of like physical therapy as well, because having the C-sections and stuff, you guys don't understand C-sections. Like when you get a C-section, they're cutting through 7 layers of skin, right? And then it's like a small incision that's about 6 inches. So just imagine 6 or 7 layers of skin being cut into, stretched really, really wide, and then you got to pull a baby out, right? And that happened 2 times in less than 2 years, right? So internally, one thing I noticed when I was going to different classes and stuff, I noticed that my abdominals were extremely weak, where in the past I could do planks and do different things like that with no pain. And so the benefit to doing classes like a Pilates for me was to start to strengthen my core from the inside out. And then once I start to rebuild that inner strength, then I will be able to slowly progress to the next, to other things or whatever. And so because of that, it's a journey. So they say with Pilates, it takes 10 classes to um, to feel a difference and for you to see a difference, and about 20 classes for people to see a difference, right? And so that kind of equates to about 4 months, right? So I'm at the 2 month point. This is going into my third month, and I definitely feel the changes, see the changes. I am a little puffier right now because of the holidays, but it just made me feel like all of the effort that I've been putting in was because people can't see it, it wasn't showing. And I don't know, it just didn't make me feel that good about. I didn't feel that good about it or whatever. And pretty much I just wanted to make this video just to like share my postpartum journey, my weight loss journey, and also just self-reflect because I might not post this after the live is over. I might post it, I don't know, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to post it because it may help somebody, it may not. But the postpartum journey is difficult, and I think like women need so much support, like hands-on support, like family, friends, whatever. And if you don't have that, like I definitely like feel for you because um it's just my man and I like in town, and there's just like no space to um there's no room to, well, there's room, but it's, you gotta be so strategic, baby, huh? Mommy. It fell off. You gotta be you gotta be gentle with yourself because it's like you're, at least for me, baby, my baby is sick. At least for me, like I'm already naturally very hard on myself, and so sometimes when people make comments, it just like amplifies what I'm already like telling myself on the inside. And but one thing that I will say is this time around when the comments were made, I I felt like okay, it didn't impact me as much as it probably would in the past because I know the effort that I've been putting in, and I know that it's only going to be going up from here. Um, but that doesn't take away from how it felt in the moment. And in snapback culture, there's so many different factors. I would say what is really needed, like at least for me, I know sleep is huge. Like sleep just regulates your hormones. Sleep regulates the cortisol levels and the stress levels in your body. And when you're not getting adequate sleep, which is 6 to 8 hours a day, that is going to have a huge impact on your wellness journey and your whole well-being journey. I literally like constantly have this like pulsating issue going on in my ear 24/7. I would say 85% of the time. And I went to the doctors, had all these blood tests ran, had an MRI, had an MRV, had an MRA, hoping that I was like, is it a stroke? Is it cancer? Like all these different scans. Your scan, and everything came back normal. And what I came to find out, it's just tiredness. Like I'm exhausted, and I'm just trying to do my best every single day. And as much as I want, hi baby, as much as I want my body to just snap back like the way it did the first time, like I have to remind myself like it's gonna get there. And in the midst of it, I'm just gonna embrace where I'm at right now. And yes, I need to make better choices about my food intake. Actually, um, yeah, it's better choices about my food intake. But for the most part, I eat healthy foods from home. I don't eat out a whole lot. And then the holidays just pass up, so that's just the time that we kind of our schedules are off, and we're eating a whole bunch of like just stuff that's not really on our schedule. So yeah, so I'm giving myself grace because of that. Hey, I see somebody joined. I don't know if you're live, but you can say hello. Um, but I feel like it's gonna get better, right? And yeah, so that's why I'm just kind of rambling on at this point. That's why I wanted to have this video and just share my thoughts because yeah, I feel like someone may hear this and it'll help somebody. So yeah, I'm going to stop there. I hope you guys had an awesome Wednesday. I feel really good regardless, because guess what? I ended up coming on live and I'm holding myself accountable to posting every day and sharing my journey as a mother of two, entrepreneur, cosmetologist, content creator. That's about all things beauty, business, lifestyle, self-care. Um, and and yeah, so let's continue. If any mamas are watching this videos, you're doing a great job. um do what you can, move your body when you can, and try to put blinders on when people make comments that can be a little insensitive, especially when they don't really know your whole journey. So have a good night. My baby needs me, so we'll talk later. Bye bye.